Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Saturday morning the 5th of April. And this morning, beautiful spring morning here in Northern England, but we are going to Middle Tennessee to the Sebastian Rogers case. In the last couple of days I've made videos about another missing child over to the east of Sebastian. And that is then 5-year-old Summer Wells. So go and check those out if you haven't seen them. But Sebastian has been missing for over 13 months. He was last seen by his mother Katie on the evening of February 25th, 2024. And then the following morning, around 6 AM, she went in his room to get him up for school and he was gone. There's very few clues about what happened to then 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. But if the Summer Wells case was crazy back in its heyday, this case has topped it. And I never thought I'd say that a case topped the craziness that was the Summer Wells case, but it has. This case is way worse, way more litigious, way more nasty in the way that people are going at each other. You know, there's two sides. There's those that are supporting Seth, Sebastian's biological dad, quote unquote, the green team. And that's been empowered in recent months by Dog the Bounty Hunter raising his head over the parapet and doing a little bit of publicity for Sebastian's case. He's trying to stay relevant, isn't he? And his friends from the at-night private lack of intelligence agency, they've created a really litigious side to this case. And then we've got those who support Chris and Katie. You've got a few, like me, who are just looking at this as an outside observer and trying to piece together the facts. The problem is, and I've said this many times now, that what people think are facts are not facts at all. And this is another example of just how dangerous misinformation is when it's spread far and wide in a case that's already got controversy in it. So we're going to talk about another such example in this video. Let's go. So what sparked this is Chris Proudfoot, Sebastian's stepdad, has been on a couple of panels lately. He's been on Queen Bee and Cluminati. If he's been on more, I haven't seen them. Chris was very, very respectful towards Seth. He's never once said anything negative towards what Seth is doing and who he's associated himself with. Never once. But the slightest thing that Chris says, every single word is analysed. And Chris did make a reference to the reward that At Night claim is $447,000. It isn't. And At Night, sue me and prove it. Prove you've got the money. Sue Chris and show us the money. Show us the actual money. The real reward is $50,000 from the FBI. I just want to show you the example of how this gets going, how this antagonises people, how this leads people down the wrong path. So this is from At Night, April the 2nd. Okay, Mr. Proudfoot has publicly mocked and belittled the $447,000 reward offered for credible information leading to the recovery of his missing stepson, a reward that exists because of the failure under his roof. He has called it a joke, a remark as outrageous as it's revolting. Well, it is a joke. You've made the whole case a joke. I'm sorry to say it, you've made the whole case a joke. And a lot of people see that. A lot of people see it, but unfortunately, the people who really matter, like Sebastian's dad, doesn't see it. And it just seems to me that he's kept in the dark. And I'll show you for why I believe that's the case in a moment, but we'll just carry on with this for a little minute. For a man who has done nothing to advance the search, Mr. Proudfoot has no hesitation in undermining those who's given everything to it. He and his wife, Katie Proudfoot, have refused help from them, yes, and rightly so, rejected direct offers from Dog the Bounty Hunter. I'm not surprised, good for them. Lied about their cooperation and aligned themselves with the YouTube disruptors and conspiracy profiteers rather than true investigators. Oh, an actual licensed PI that you do nothing but belittle. You call yourself true investigators. Well, where's your qualifications? Where's your credentials? Where is it? Now they insult the people searching for their son. At night, he's actively exploring civil legal options against Mr. and Mrs. Proudfoot for their defamatory conduct. What's Katie done? Katie's not said anything. What's Katie done? Willful misrepresentation and interference with the search for Sebastian. Their repeated lies and coordinated distractions have placed legitimate efforts and the safety of the public in harm's way. Prove it! Prove it! If Sebastian was kidnapped, it means a predator still lurks in the streets of Sumner County. Well, if Sebastian was kidnapped, yeah. There's no evidence that Sebastian was kidnapped. However, yeah. It's a logical conclusion, isn't it? That's not merely neglect, it's dangerous. We will not tolerate it. Every dollar of this reward represents urgency, action, and the commitment of those who refuse to let a 16-year-old boy vanish without a fight. If the Proudfoots are incapable of supporting this effort, the least they can do is refrain from spreading misinformation. Here's the problem. The misinformation isn't coming from Chris. Whatever you think about Chris, and I don't agree with his style of discipline against Sebastian, I really don't. I really don't. Chris saying $447,000 as a reward and critiquing that, because the actual reward is $50,000, sue me and prove it. Do it. Do it. Show me every dollar of that $447,000. Show me the dollars. Show me the money. Show me the money. Chris has remained grounded. Chris has remained realistic. Here's the thing that's the issue. On Cluminati's panel, Chris discussed ground-penetrating radar. Now, there has been talk about getting ground-penetrating radar for a search of the construction site. This is the construction site right here. This is what it looked like in December of 2024. So, pretty different than when Sebastian went missing. This picture is from December 2024, people who were there searching, and you can see that the ground that was unworked, the kind of this area in February of 2024, is now getting built on. And the issue is that this construction site was not closed down. And I'll show you here a few minutes of footage. This is time-lapse footage, starting around 6 a.m, maybe just after. And just see how many trucks there are. And I'll just let it play as I'm talking. And one real issue is that because this construction site wasn't closed down, it's the very construction site where Max, the German Shepherd, jumped into this retention pond right here. Max got there around 7:40, 7:45, and then at 7:50, he heard over the dispatch audio that Max had dove right into this pond. We know all that, don't we? Max wasn't scent specific, though. So it's easy to say, well, he was tracking someone else. He wasn't tracking Sebastian. It's easy to say that. But then about 8:30, a bloodhound was in this vicinity, caught on a camera here, and this dog was scent specific, tracking Sebastian, heading straight for the construction site in the very location where just 8 hours previous there was a mystery figure. This is 12:17 a.m. A mystery figure. Is that Sebastian? We don't know. It's impossible to ID this person. But if that was Sebastian, they were heading straight for the construction site. And this construction site has not been cleared. And despite them dumping earth, like moving earth from one location to another, this is why ground penetrating radar is so important. I don't know whether it could even find Sebastian if he somehow accidentally got buried. I don't know how it could because it's disrupted Earth anyway. But look, it costs a lot of money to get real experts to do this kind of work. And it would have to involve law enforcement. Now, enter Seth's comment, and this is why it is just so very dangerous. And it's upsetting for Seth. He's been hoodwinked. He's been kept in the dark about the actual truth because he's aligned himself with people who are spreading misinformation. He wants to believe that Chris and Katie are responsible for Sebastian's disappearance, so he's aligned himself with those people. It was a channel reviewing Illuminati's live stream, and Seth was in the chat. So this is in response to Chris talking. My son Chris, not yours. Chris has helped raise Sebastian. He's married to Sebastian's biological mother, so actually he is Sebastian's stepdad. And you don't have a problem with him otherwise, do you? Before Sebastian went missing, you didn't have a problem with him, did you? No, okay. Tell me where the ground penetration radar is needed. I will rent it and bring law enforcement. Well, please do. But the very fact you do not know where ground penetrating radar is needed is a massive, massive red flag. Not a red flag that Seth has anything to do with Sebastian's disappearance, not that kind of red flag, but a red flag. He's being kept in the dark, he's being controlled. Seth needs to take control. He calls himself the general, but he needs to take control and get rid of all of these nonsense spreaders and actually look at the facts of the case instead of poo-pooing everything that a real investigator, SF Investigates, has found out and believing these absolute nonsense spreaders. He doesn't even know where a highly likely, probable scenario could have happened. That Sebastian, sadly, got killed at the construction site. And his body's still there. Tell me where the ground penetration radar is needed. He doesn't even know the basics because he's been constantly blaming Katie and Chris. This is why this misinformation is so dangerous. Because Sebastian will never be found if people concentrate on areas where Sebastian absolutely cannot be. I'm going to play you a clip. This is News Channel 5 Nashville. This is from March the 3rd of 2024.
So, Brianna, today is now the 7th day of the search for Sebastian. What are you hearing from authorities there?
Well, I'm actually here with EMA Director, Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener, to get a direct update on this search that's happening. And so, what is the plan for today? This has now been a week since we've last seen Sebastian Rogers.
Yeah, we're starting day 7, and we've actually got search crews coming in. We've got a bus unloading right now. Yesterday we ran about 330 searchers on the ground, and we'll start that process again today and work through the day. We have a rough number of searchers today, but we'll have that final number at the end of the day, and we're just going to continue to work the search areas and expand that as we go.
Is it still, I know the focus has been, around water. Has anywhere where you guys have been looking changed at all?
No, and the thing with water is, several people that I've spoken to and from some case study, autistic people like water, they like streams. We actually had a boy come in here, a young kid come in here Tuesday that wanted to tell us where Sebastian might be in regards to where he would like to go. So we talked to him, and he said, that he liked streams, he liked being behind buildings or in buildings and small places and things like that. We've had teams come in from East Tennessee, specialized search teams and cave rescue, and they're going in every cave that is marked or that we're aware of. And, we searched under the ground in culverts. The city of Gallatin brought their camera truck out, and they hit all the culverts in the area, and we cleared those. So we're just going to continue to expand and just keep pounding it out.
And we know a lot of agencies are here from across the state working together on this. I mean, is that usual for a search like this, searching for a child?
Yeah, that's pretty common. And we make requests, and we have people contact us and say, hey, we're available if you want us to come. And we vet that, and we pull the trigger on it. And the biggest thing, and there's a lot of concern about utilizing volunteer searchers, and we can't manage 1,000 volunteers. We can manage the trained search teams that we can track and we have communications with. So rest assured, we're doing everything we can do. We talk to mom, dad, and stepdad every day, and we'll talk to them this morning and give them an update on what we're doing. And we're just going to keep going at it.
Thank you so much for the work that you all are doing. And so that's why, as well, that the Sumner County Sheriff's Office has reiterated that people should be keeping their own personalized searches around their property. The Sheriff's Office also is asking people to check their home surveillance videos, specifically between last Sunday afternoon through Monday morning.
That was EMA Director Ken Widener talking about the places where Sebastian was most likely to be. Yeah, autistic kids tend to gravitate towards water. They like small spaces. We know Sebastian loved water. We know that Sebastian would hide in small spaces. Now, a lot of water was cleared in the early days, and they checked culverts and things like that. I would like all that drainage system under that construction site to be searched. If it's been searched once, search it again, because of the open manhole covers. There are caves out there that could be of interest to someone who likes small spaces, who's out there for whatever reason, exploring or upset and wanting to seek comfort in a small space. These are the actual facts. These are the facts. And we know that the searchers in those early days, they said they did a 5-mile radius, but the concentration of this search was to the north and to the west. I think if he's not at the construction site, he's to the north or to the west. However, until this construction site is absolutely 100% cleared, and at this stage it's very different than it was in February 2024. But until it's actually cleared, there's a very distinct possibility that Sebastian, had an accident. Something unfortunate happened to him there. Until that's cleared, I'm going to carry on about this. And it's such a shame that Sebastian's own father, so misguided, so kept in the dark, did not know where ground-penetrating radar could be useful. But Seth, now you know the construction site, now you know. Yeah, go and rent it. It's usually expensive. Go and rent it, bring law enforcement, get it done. So, part of this $447,000 that At Night claimed to have, well, you could use that money to get a top-of-the-range ground-penetrating radar kit and experts to do it. Why not use part of the money that apparently you've got to assist in a search that could well be productive? Again, show me the money.